We continue to preview the 2025 college volleyball season. Our stop today is Crete, Nebraska, as we get to visit with the head coach of the Doane Tigers, RanDee Ochinero, heading into her second season with the program. Coach, I want to talk about year two a little bit, but let's talk about year one. 9-20 overall in 2024, 4-12, and in what is always a very tough Great Plains Athletic Conference. So tell us a little bit about last year and how was year one for you?
Yeah, last year was a great learning experience, not only for me, but the girls. You wouldn't think in the same sport, but there's just a different language, and especially me not being from Nebraska and the majority of my team being from here. A lot of it was just kind of like that language barrier of figuring out kind of what the expectation was, what we wanted from each other. So we did a lot of growing as a team. And honestly, the record doesn't reflect it, but kind of our goal going into last year was we may not take a whole lot of wins, but we want teams to not want to play us anymore. We wanted them to get done with the game and be like, oh, I'm so glad that's over. I don't want to play Doane. And I think we did that with quite a few matches. So while the record maybe wasn't what we wanted, we're definitely moving in the right direction.
Absolutely. That's an interesting point, Coach. I know Nebraska is a very volleyball heavy state, and so there's a lot of talent there and so much going on there, and making that adjustment, terminology or just style, culture. What was it?
Kind of all three. Culture was a big one, of course. When every coach comes in, they kind of want to build their own culture. So that was a lot of our behind the scenes stuff. But terminology was a big part of it. Just the way we wanted to play and kind of what they were used to was a little bit different. So kind of all three, really.
All right. Well, you now have a full year worth of recruiting. You got there in January of 2024. I know. So some of the recruiting already underway, at least to get the team for 24. But now you have a full year. Tell us a little bit about recruiting for this season and a little bit about the spring.
Yeah. So, it was a busy spring. We made a lot of offers to some great athletes, and it was one of those things that we have a lot coming in. We have 16, I think, coming in, which, I mean, for NAIA really isn't a whole lot when you're looking at the NCAA numbers, those roster limits. So we just have some phenomenal athletes, and more girls than we anticipated said yes. And so we're pretty excited. We have some girls I think that will actually make a huge difference in our program. And of course, that's what every coach wants, right, when they recruit. But we have a couple transfers coming in. We have a transfer coming back from an injury that we're pretty excited about. So it should be an interesting change.
You had a good season last year from Natalie Wood. Let's start there and preview 2025. Her freshman season, she's heading into her sophomore year now, had better than 3 kills per set for you. Tell us a little bit about the offense.
Yeah, Natalie was unexpected as a freshman. She came in as a middle, and halfway through the season, we put her on the outside. We needed another big gun to go with Kaden, and she just really stepped up. And then this offseason, she's been working really hard in the gym, really pushing everybody in the weight room. So we're pretty excited to see kind of what she's coming back with. And then we have another outside that transferred in from Northwest Community College in Powell, Wyoming. So she's kind of our other OH2 for now. We'll kind of see what comes in, but that's the plan. We're pretty excited to have some heavy hitters on the outside.
We're visiting now with Coach RanDee Ochinero from Doane here on Midwest Sportsnet, and I encourage you, please take the time, like the video, and subscribe to the channel. We enjoy talking about small college sports and more throughout the Midwest and beyond. Year two brings back Camden Carpenter. She had an all-GPAC year for you last year and led the team in assists, but also had nearly 3 digs per set as well. Seemed like she was all around. Was that a part of being 6'2", sometimes 5'1", sometimes as well? Tell us a little bit about Camden and then who might be setting for you.
Yeah, we plan on using Camden again. We may or may not run a 5'1", 6'2". We don't know. We just have a ton of hitters, and the best way to utilize an offense with a ton of hitters is a 6'2". That being said, it's also really hard to go into tournament play, especially at the end of the season. You don't see very many teams running a 6'2". That's not to say it can't be done. We have no idea where it's going to take us, but Camden is our go-to. She knows the offense we want. She studies it up pretty well. She's consistent with our hitters and takes feedback really well from coaches and hitters. So she's our upperclassman setter and who we're counting on coming in.
Grace Sire came to Doane about the same time you did, probably along the way with you coming in from Rocky Mountain. I know you were there previous to your head coaching stop now. And she graduated, but had a fantastic senior season, did well, all conference mention as well with her gone. How do you feel that spot on the back row?
Yeah, Grace was great for us. I'm really glad she followed me from Montana. Behind the scenes, a lot of people don't know, we had another DS Libero follow from Rocky. Her name's Kaylee Rammel. She was out with an injury for the last year, so we just decided to take a year off, and she's been working really hard in the off season to come back from that. And you see her in the gym all the time just by herself, or she'll drag one of her teammates in to get some reps in. And so we anticipate her stepping into that role. We also have Lillian coming back. She played row 6 for us a lot of the time last year. We kind of anticipate she'll do the same. And then we have a phenomenal freshman DS coming in, Katie Picard. We're pretty excited to see how she develops over the next 4 years too.
All right. Well, that sounds good. Sounds like you have a lot of things in place and making your mark there on the program. Coach, our question that we have thrown out all summer long for all of the coaches to get to know you all a little bit better. Favorite 80s song or 80s band?
Oh, this was a hard one because I was born in 87. So
All right.
I had a rough go, but I would have to say probably my favorite would be like any of the 80s women rock stars. Like Pat Benatar has been my go-to girl forever. So I'd probably have to say it's got to be Pat.
Okay, that's fine. She had a lot of them. My
She did.
my favorite Pat Benatar song, "Shadows of the Night." I like that one. Just like the music on that one. But yeah, she had a lot, and some of those are good weight room and
Yep.
warm up songs before a game too. So that's all right there. Okay, so the season gets underway in around a month and a half as of this recording. You all get to go to the Siouxland Invitational. So you're heading to Sioux City. You go to the Big Easy Blast Off, heading for New Orleans. You
Yes.
head over to McPherson as well to be a part of that tournament. And then, of course, the GPAC schedule, which is its own monster. So tell us a little bit about the schedule this year.
Yeah. So one of my priorities as a head coach when I set out my scheduling is I want to give opportunities to girls who maybe wouldn't travel or haven't traveled yet. So I try to always put in at least one fun tournament. Last year we had two. We went to Montana, of course, went to Butte and played Montana Tech and the teams up there that I'm used to. We went to Florida because who doesn't love to hang out on the beach and play volleyball in between? This year we're going to New Orleans, and with the way scheduling went, I had already set the schedule by the time they expanded our dates. So we're going to Siouxland, which it's a nice, easy drive. We don't have to pay for a hotel room. Girls can sleep in their own beds. And then McPherson, the head coach and I actually got our master's degrees together. So Corey and I get
Nice.
along pretty well. So when he reached out and was like, hey, let's schedule something, we were all in. And then, yeah, GPAC is just its own beast, and we do our best with the competition we have. We're really lucky we have some great teams in our conference, and they're also really close, which is an
Yeah.
added bonus coming from Montana.
I understand. Well, Coach, we're going to follow you all this season. Success to the Tigers, to you and your program, and I hope that year 2 goes really well. And we're really thankful that you took some time with us here on the summit today and stopped by and visited.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Joy. I really appreciate it.